Oh my goodness. How are you doing? I hope it's well and you're ready to take a look at finding the roots of some quadratic functions with the quadratic formula. Let's go, everyone. So here we go. We're going to give our answers as sets of points as well. So this is going to be as many as two answers, and you're going to give them points. All right, here's how I suggest you do these. So first, get your A, B, and C numbers. And so for this quadratic here, remember that they're ax squared plus bx plus c. So in this case, our a is just 1, our b is equal to -3, and our c is equal to 1. And then we go ahead and copy out the quadratic formula. X equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. There we go. And now, go ahead and put your numbers in. So we're going to keep a lot of space in our answer, use up a lot of paper so that you can see very clearly what your numbers are and you don't make extra mistakes. Negative b. So you can write down -3 if you want and substitute into brackets. That's going to turn into +3. Plus or minus -3 squared. And we want to remember that negative numbers squared are positive numbers. Minus 4 times a is 1 times c is 1. So that was pretty easy. All over 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, so we just substituted in for b, c, and a wherever we saw those numbers. Now let's evaluate. This is equal to +3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared is 9 minus 4 times 1 times 1. That's just 9 minus 4, all over 2. And then we go down a little more. And then we're going to say that that's equal to 3 plus or minus the square root of 5 over 2. Okay, and now you're going to get your calculator out because you probably don't happen to know the square root of 5 very conveniently. So you could actually calculate this and write it down. You could say 5, but I want the square root of it, and that's 2.23. On the test, I'm going to tell you how many decimal places to give me. One decimal place will be plenty. Thank you. So this is equal to 3 plus or minus 2.2 over 2. Okay? And so that would give us x equals 5.2 over 2. That's 3 plus 2.2. Or x equals 0.8. That's 3 minus 2.2 over 2. And your calculator will tell you the same thing, okay? So what is that? The points are 2.60 and 0.40. Mr. Jennings, where'd those numbers come from? I did the math, okay? 5.2 divided by 2 is 2.6, and 0.8 divided by 2 is 0.4. So this would be the correct final answer. Let's keep going. With g of x, we just have a little bit bigger numbers to manage here. So in this case, we're going to go with a different color so that, the work looks a little different. A equals 3, B equals -15, and C equals -5. So let's go. X equals, you guessed it, -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And yes, you absolutely have permission to have this much fun doing math. This is equal to -b. I'm not going to write -15 because I know that's going to turn into +15. Plus or minus the square root of -15 squared. Well, I know -15 squared and 15 squared are the same thing, so maybe I just write down 15 squared. Minus 4 multiplied by a, which is 3, multiplied by c, which is -5. Okay, put those all into brackets and avoid errors. All over 2a, so 2 times 3. Okay, I have substituted in carefully. I did a couple shortcuts with my b and my b squared, but forgive me. Forgive me my shortcuts. I love me some shortcuts. All right, so this is equal to 15 plus or minus, your calculator tells you that 15 squared is 225, or maybe you've remembered that by now. -4 times 3 times -5. This is the way I would encourage you to look at this. there are two negatives, -4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by -5. Since there are two negatives, it will create a positive number. And the positive number that it creates is 60. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 5 is the number of minutes in an hour, 60. All divided by 6. Okay, so this gives us 15 plus or minus the square root of 285 over 6. And now evaluate. Okay, the square root of 285, find that out for yourself. 285, but we want its square root. 16.9. Don't forget to round, 16.9. So this is equal to 15 plus or minus 16.9 over 6. Well, 15 plus 16.9 over 6 is equal to 31.9 over 6. That's if I add those together. Or it's equal to minus, so that would be negative 1.9 over 6. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's negative 1.9. Well, you find really interesting ways to fool yourself uh, with these types of problems. Okay, so let's go. So let's evaluate those so we can give them as a pair of points. 31.9 divided by 6 equals 5.3. So we have the solutions are 5.30 or 1.9, but it's negative, divided by 6 equals negative 0.3, sorry, or 0.3, but it's negative 0. Okay, and so that's the pair of points where this quadratic would cross the x-axis. The y values are, of course, 0 because the y value of x-intercepts are always 0. Okay, so with h of x, you got a couple ways you can do this question. I'm going to show you the easy way. The hard way is to do exactly what I've been doing up here by just pumping these numbers into the quadratic formula and avoiding errors. The easy way is to actually factor here. If you can recognize that, that 15 is a common factor, you can say, well, I'm looking for where does this cross the y-axis. So where does y equal 0? That's equal to negative 15 x squared plus 45 x minus 30. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 15. Oh, we're getting an amber alert, I think. Yeah, it's an amber alert. Okay. So, yeah, be careful and see if you can help someone out if you're out on the roads. All right, so here we go. So we're going to divide everything by negative 15. If I divide 0 by 15, or negative 15 for that matter, I still get 0 back. So that didn't change. But these ones, I divide it by negative 15, and I'm going to get x squared minus 3x plus 2. And now I'm looking for numbers that multiply to positive 2 and add to minus 3. This one will factor. Oh my goodness. I might even fit one of these questions that factors onto the test. This would be x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 1. How did I know that? Because I won this x game. I knew I could multiply to positive 2 and add to negative 3 with the numbers negative 2 and negative 1. So when I do that, then I know that these are my pairs of points. 2, 0, and 1, 0 are my pairs of points. You just flip the signs inside the brackets. Now, the quadratic formula will give you the numbers 2 and 1. No problem. Answer's just as good, doesn't matter how you got there. My method, I think you'll agree, if you have that skill of factoring, it's much faster. All right, everyone. Hope that helps you out. Any questions, hit me up by email. Thank you for showing up for your learning. Bye for now, everyone.